Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we have another amazing episode for you today. Today, we actually connect again with another listener. Someone reached out and said, hey, I've got some stories I'd love to share with you, with your listeners. And so I want to introduce you guys to Derrick Murray. Derrick is a great guy. He's overcome a lot, and he has some amazing stories for us today. I don't want to steal too much of his thunder, but I want to say, Derrick, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing everything with us. It means a lot. I really do appreciate it. For you listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you as well. Please give us a review, a like, follow, whatever you want to do on whatever platform you're listening to right now. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick this thing off, guys. Let's let Derrick tell you some of his stories. Thank you.
Cool,
All
man.
right, Derrick. Welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast, brother. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I am doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm super excited to talk with you. Scheduled the thing out a little while ago and finally made it. And despite some scheduling conflicts where you've been sitting around for an hour, so sorry about that. Here we are, man, ready to hear some stories. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man. I've been listening to your podcast for a while, so it's kind of cool to be on it. And yeah, man.
Yeah, buddy. So I say this every time I have a guest on that is a listener, but like if you guys are listening and you want to come tell some of your stories, hit me up. Like it's easy. Like we're all just having fun here. That's what this is all about. So to the listeners, if you have a story or if you know someone who has a great story, reach out to us and we'll touch base and get you on here like Derrick. And Derrick, let's do this, man. Why don't you introduce yourself so everyone knows who they're hearing some stories from today?
Yeah. My name's Derrick. I'm just average guy from New York, born and raised here, and ventured out cross country for a while. Kind of got away from hunting, not necessarily by choice, but I grew up hunting. It's what I loved doing as a kid growing up, and that's kind of my first story, man. It's the first kind of real hunting that I did, and I think it was like my grandfather. He man, don't hold me to this because I don't know if it's true or not. My grandfather.
That's the best thing about hunting stories. They're all half true.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather, I don't know if he told me and my cousins this just to get us out of his hair, but he told us if we find a squirrel that's bouncing around in a tree, go up and hit the tree with a stick and that squirrel will run down so you can smack it and, there's an easy meal. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, don't hold me to. I don't know if there's any merit behind that. It comes to play a little bit later in the story, but
yeah. Initially, I'm getting what do they call them? Snape vibes. We're like, hey, go look for that snape and bang the sticks in the woods, and you just get kids to just go looking for an animal that doesn't exist. That's the vibe this is giving me. But go ahead.
Well, I'll paint the picture. Pretty young. I was 5 years old, 5 or 6. My cousins are both 1 year and 2 years older than me. So it was 5, 6, and 7, or 6, 7, and 8. Don't really remember the exact age, but my parents set up a camper in our driveway, and we would go camping in it, just in the driveway. The parents would be in the house, and we'd be down in the camper having fun, playing all night, going out campfire type of thing. So
That's
we're all down there, and we decide the next morning we're going to run away and we're going to go live off the land. Now,
okay.
As little kids, and my grandfather, my whole family lives on the same road, basically. I mean, it's
gotcha.
Right across the road is my aunt and uncle. Right next door is my grandparents. 2 houses down is my uncle. And my grandfather, who lived next door, had 60 acres. And it's all on a hill. So, early that next morning after we decide we're running away, we run up on my grandfather's hill and we build forts up there and do all that fun stuff. But, maybe around 8, 9 o'clock, we started getting hungry. So what do? We listen to my grandfather's story and we start looking for squirrels up in the trees.
Okay.
And, we find a squirrel and we start running after it, chasing it down, hitting the trees with sticks. I mean, 3 kids running around, that squirrel should have been long gone. But lo and behold, that squirrel ran down that tree. And my cousin got the hit on it. And
no way. It actually worked.
Yeah, it worked. again, I don't know if it was just dumb luck or if what my grandfather
Yeah.
said had any merit to it whatsoever. But 5, 6, and 7 years old, we're up there cooking up a squirrel. Now,
Did
I
you
don't
gut
know.
it or anything, or did you just cook it with fur on, just
Oh,
shove a
no,
stick
no.
up its rear and throw it over
My
the...
cousin, he was 7 years old. He was allowed to have a knife at that point,
Okay.
So we gutted it. We did everything we were supposed to, and we skunned the thing. We built a fire, and one squirrel for 3 kids wasn't quite enough. So we ended up having to go back down and get food. But my parents, my aunt and uncle, they knew exactly where we were the whole time we were running away. But so the moral of that, I guess, is that I started off hunting at a really early age.
That's
It was
too funny.
normal. It was normal for us to go
Was your
out there.
grandpa proud that you did that? That, like, or was he surprised, maybe even, that you went out there and killed a squirrel just by stumping it with a stick?
My grandfather was kind of hard Native American type of guy, and I don't ever remember him saying
Okay.
much about it. But he he was more like hunt for food type of thing. He wasn't trophy. He wasn't. It was just
Yeah.
a way of life for him type of thing. So us going up there and getting a squirrel and eating it, he was more happy that we ate the dang thing, and didn't just waste it and leave it up there on his hill.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's a great story. I love that. I can't believe that it worked. Like I said, I could have sworn that you guys were just going to be, this story is going to be you and your brothers just banging on trees with sticks for hours and your grandpa laughing at you. But I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, I don't know how long we were up there actually hitting sticks. I mean, it's 5 years old. My memory's a little bit clouded,
Yeah,
but
right.
I do remember we got one. I do remember we ate it.
There you go, man. That's a great story. Well, what else you got? So let's go forward a couple years.
All right. So I gotta say the first thing that really got me into hunting was turkey hunting. Turkey hunting, I
Okay.
loved it. I loved the fact that I can go out there and as a young kid, I could call and have an interaction. And my first real encounter doing that, I believe I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I couldn't carry a gun in New York State yet. But I went out hunting with my dad, and my dad, he was late onset hunter. He never hunted, as a kid, and he kind of just got into it because of my mom, his family, or her family.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So your
but
grandpa's on the other side of the family, not your dad's dad.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Did you ever ask him what got him started? Was it just being around your mom's family, or was there anything
yeah,
else that got him involved? Or was it before that?
that was pretty much it. I mean, it was like my grandfather saying, "Hey,
Okay.
we need some meat," because my grandfather had 8 children. So I mean, it was
Whew.
yeah, it was one of the things where it was definitely a food thing, and like, hey, get up on the
Yeah.
hill and bring home some meat type of thing. Um,
Gotcha.
but so he's the one who really got my dad. Is the one who really got me into hunting type of thing. He was
Okay.
always willing to take me out turkey hunting, always willing to go squirrel hunting, actually with a gun, not sticks. But um, I remember we went up to public land, which there's public land all around me. I mean, I live in a great area for public land. And
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. I just assumed most of the East Coast was like Texas, right, where everything's private and it's impossible to get on anything.
no, New York's actually really great, at least central New York where I'm at. I mean,
Okay, cool.
there's 900 acres less than 5 miles away from me to be able to hunt. And
Wow. Did you run into many hunters out there, or is it pretty
oh, yeah.
sparse?
No, there's
Yeah.
hunters everywhere. I mean, you're kind of hunting the hunters, not, find a place where they're not, or that type of thing.
Outwalk everybody or whatever. Okay. Sorry for all the questions. Continue.
That plays a factor in this story is where I'm going with
Okay.
it. So we walk out on public land, and my dad just let me call. And when I was younger, I used to be better at calling with just my mouth, not any slate calls, no box calls, nothing. So we're walking, and I was calling, and we finally hear a gobble. So we're walking along a trail. It's a marked trail. It's known for having hikers, bikers, everything. and we hear this gobble, and we set up maybe 5 yards off the trail. The bird was maybe 150, 200 yards away when we heard it starting to gobble, and I'm calling. My dad's setting up, and he's getting ready. He thinks this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. We see the bird come up over this knoll, probably about 80 yards away. He still has to come down into this creek and then come back up for us to get a shot at him. And he was coming in on a string. Like he had one mindset, and it was to get to us. And he gets down in the bottom of this ravine, and we hear some noise off to our right. I believe it was our right. And I'm like, man, that doesn't sound like any kind of animal. Next thing you know, we hear hollering, people riding down through with bikes on their bikes, and just blew the whole hunt type of thing. And my dad was angry. He stood up, and the sound of the shotgun, those guys on the bikes just hit their brakes. I mean, they were scared, because my dad was just standing up, letting them know we were there, type of thing. He was, he might have been aggravated.
Just wrecked the shell.
Yeah,
that's funny, man.
But
I'm assuming did you see that bird? You said went into a little ravine, and then you heard the noise. Did you ever see that bird again? Did it come out of the ravine, or did it hear the noise and booger off?
I never saw it again. I mean, as soon as they came down through, I mean, the noise that they were making, we were 5 yards off the trail, and they came between us and the bird. So I mean,
no, God,
there was
really, that's funny.
Yeah, there was no chance on that bird, type of thing. After that,
I'll tell you what, racking of a shotgun shell is a noise I think everyone knows and everyone understands. So that's pretty funny that that's what your dad did.
Yeah, he's a character at times. I mean, I don't know how to explain my dad in a practical way. He's a hardworking dude, and but when you start to set him off or get him irritated, type of thing, he turns funny. The little things that he does, turns funny to me, anyways.
Yeah, that's great. So when your dad became a hunter, is now he in love with it, kind of like you are, where it's like your life, or did he just kind of do it because it was a part of the family and a thing that was like kind of expected of him?
It's he enjoys it. He really does enjoy it. He but not. I feel like not to the extent that I took it. He got in his own lane, type of thing. Like, he enjoys to go out and hunt. He loves to do it, and he loves to do it with me. And now his grandchildren, who he's soon, going to be able to go out this year with. So he's excited about that fact of it.
That's cool.
When I left New York 9 years ago. He didn't do a lot of hunting since I've been gone. There's other things like health issues with my mother and that type of thing that kind of prevented him from hunting. But
gotcha.
Now that I'm back in New York, we got to go out last winter for deer season, and we weren't successful. But he's still, he was waking up in the morning with his pants on. As soon as I'm pulling in the driveway, he's loading up his truck, type of thing.
Awesome.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Those are going to be some great memories, especially once you get your kid out there with him. Like that's what it's all about. Like your first story, right? Your grandpa and the banging sticks to kill squirrels. Who knows what your dad will tell your kiddo? So
yeah, no, exactly. I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm really excited because this is the first year that I'm taking my son. I believe our kids are pretty much the same age. I have a boy that's 5, a girl that's 3, and then I got a 3-month-old. But
there you go, man. We're racking them up.
Yeah, no more. No. 3's enough.
Cool, man. Well, very cool. Yeah, I almost got my son out for turkey hunting this year. The problem is, it's like out here, you gotta really hike, and so I'm trying to find a place that like I can get on birds without like having to go on a too long of a hike, because of several reasons. One, he just doesn't want to hike that far, and then secondly, like you want to get in when it's relatively dark, and asking a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old to walk too far into the Rocky Mountains in the pitch black is just not going to work. So I'm trying to find a way to like get something. I've got a friend who's got some property that backs up to some national forest that no one else like has access to. So I was thinking of putting a blind back there, hanging out at my friend's house until right when the sun comes up, and then shooting out there with him, something like that, so he doesn't get too scared of the dark. So we'll see. I'll figure it out eventually.
When's is turkey season already started there, or is it?
Not yet. By the time this episode comes out, yes, but not yet. It starts on Friday, Saturday. So I think in 2 days.
Man, I'm jealous. I gotta wait till May 1st. So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I've been watching people all over the country. I think in Texas, it's been like 2 weeks. It's been open already. It's been crazy.
New York is one of the latest seasons that I think they have in the States.
Huh.
I don't know why. I mean, there's birds out there gobbling their heads off right now, and it's just driving me nuts. Like, I can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's like the farther you go north, the later that they actually get to that. Like I don't know. It's not the rut. I don't know what it is for birds, but we'll call it the rut. But maybe they just need to get to the point where they know they're breeding, and that's why the seasons are pushed out a little bit to make sure that the breeding happens before everybody starts shooting at them. So who knows?
Yeah,
who knows? So either way,
I'm sure there's some reason, but yeah.
Some biologist somewhere ruining all your fun, but that's just what life is. All right, Derek, what else you got for us, man?
Actually, I wanted to so last year I was hunting in New Jersey. So actually, you know what? Let me back up a little bit. Okay. So I left New York and I got a job traveling the country building old folks homes. So I got to go out to, most of the states, apply, never draw anything. But when I was actually, the last state that we were in was New Jersey. And surprisingly, New Jersey has a really good deer hunting program, like in the southern tier of New Jersey. Like, I couldn't believe the amount of tags that I got. For a non-resident, there's no draw or anything like that. It's just like you pay the money, you get the tags.
Yeah. Did you get a bear tag? I know New Jersey's got the most bears per capita of any state in the country, which is crazy.
I didn't get a bear tag. I thought about it, but I went archery only.
Okay.
So I didn't get to do any gun hunts. I didn't even try to do that. It was just strictly archery. The piece of public land that I found was only 50, 60 acres, which was near an RV park that I was staying at.
Okay.
So, and that's the other thing too. I mean, if I got a bear and I brought it back to the RV park and had to process it, and might get a couple weird looks, or might get some complaints called on me, type of thing.
Slightly different conversation than bringing back a deer, I guess. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I got looks when I brought back deer too, but I can explain that one a little bit better than a bear, I think.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Anyways, I was surprised at New Jersey's deer tags, and I went out, like I said, fully archery. And I went out, and the amount of tree stands that I found out in this little piece of private or public land was crazy. I mean, there was like every other tree, there was a tree stand bolted to it. I thought that was I thought that was insane. Like, you couldn't. Huh. I was like, man, are people actually hunting it this hard? But I never saw anybody in them. So
they just leave them there all the time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I ended up leaving mine. I cable locked it to the tree. And I was hunting pretty much the whole season, every chance I could get. So I was there quite regularly. But I wanted to bring up this story because I learned something from this podcast that I made the same mistake I believe you did.
We're not. I say it all the time. We're not supposed to learn things on this podcast. It's just supposed to be fun. So
it is fun.
Damn it! But what'd you learn? All right, keep going.
So I believe you had a story about an elk that came within like 20, 30 yards behind some brush and you didn't shoot.
Yeah, I
Because
think. Well, was it the one where I left my muzzle loader on the other side of a big rock?
it might be. I could be wrong in
Well,
this. It
tell
might
tell
not
me
even
your
have been you.
story. Yeah, tell the story, and we'll see what I recall. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's. I mean, I can't remember every story, but we'll see.
So, trophy deer have eluded me every hunting season. I mean, it's not that I don't see them. It's not that I don't get within
Okay.
range. It's just that I do something, messed up or whatever it is. And my trophy deer is probably a lot different than somebody else's trophy deer. But
Yeah.
I had my stand set up and I had the nicest 10-point walk in within 20 yards. Came to full draw, had no idea I was there whatsoever in my tree stand. Pulled back, hit the release, and I shot in front of him.
Oh,
Now, I was like, man, my bow's not off. That's a 20-yard shot. I know I got that shot all day long. Why did I miss
yeah.
that shot?
Because missing in front means you're missing by like 12 to 16 inches. That's
Yeah.
that's off. That's interesting.
So what I think it was, is I looked at the pin, but I never looked through my peep sight.
Hey, hunters. Have you ever had one of those stories, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today. Oh, okay.
So when I was at full draw, my head angle pushed my arrow over in front of his chest, because he came from right to left, and
Okay.
that's the only thing I could think of. But the part where I actually learned something is a week later, I kept seeing these deer that were crossing 50, 60 yards up where I couldn't get a shot. So a week later, I decided, after sitting all morning, that I was going to get down and just walk up there and see if I can find a new spot to set up relatively close to where I was. 10:30 in the afternoon, 11 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm out of my stand walking up through. I have my arrow nocked, just walking up through just by chance, and down comes this 10-point. Same exact deer. Came right down 15 yards in front of me and stopped behind a bush. And I went at full draw on him, made sure I was looking through the peep sight this time. And I was waiting for him to take that step right past that brush. And he never did. He saw me. He was staring me down type of thing, and he kicked off and he ran back the other way, and I never took the shot. And I swear it was probably a week later, I was listening to your podcast at work, and you told that story to somebody, or somebody told that story to you. All I remember is that I heard it on the podcast, and I believe it was an elk. But
I don't know if I have one with an elk, so maybe it's somebody else. It does make me think of the one time I almost killed it was in Texas. I was in a blind. Long story short, because I've told the story probably 5 times or whatnot on the podcast, but I go full draw on a turkey that I had called in. But I was basically ready to pack up, and I wasn't hunting turkey. I was hunting axis deer. So I was like, whatever, if a turkey's here, it's turkey season. I'm going to shoot it. And in Texas, you can use a rifle. You don't have to use a shotgun or a bow or whatever. And you can do that in Colorado too, but only in the fall seasons. Either way, I pull back and there's brush in front of the turkey. So I was a novice. Like I had killed one other turkey with a bow, but I'd never really killed anything else. And that turkey, it was 15 yards, nothing in between us. This one, there's brush. It wasn't a lot. It was really just grass, like tall grass. And I just didn't know because I never shot through enough of that stuff to know how it would affect my arrow. And I was like, I don't want to hurt this thing. So I let down, put my bow down, and pick my rifle up. And I look, and I can't find it. So then I set the rifle back down, and at the time I couldn't mouth call, so I bring out my slate call and I go, and he pops up, but he went from like 20 yards to like 50. So I got my rifle up and I put it on him. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I can't see shit because I'm dialed up to 10. so I pull it back down and I dial it back down to 3, and I pull it up, and there's that bird, and he's strutting, and I just and took him down. So I've told that story plenty of times, and there's a little bit more to it than that, but it does remind me of yours where like I went full draw on an animal in front of the brush, and I'm sure I've heard plenty of stories that happening to a lot of people. Yeah. Man, it's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, you just said that you're kind of a novice. I consider myself a novice too, especially when it comes with a bow. You know, I'm pretty deadly with a rifle, other than this year apparently. But I got a love-hate relationship with my gun. Man, I got a love-hate relationship.
That's funny, man. I have only killed that turkey that I just told you about with a rifle. Otherwise, I've killed a white-tailed deer with a shotgun, another turkey with a shotgun, and everything else with my bow. Like everything else I've hunted, like, and it's crazy to me that like the harder it gets, for some reason, that's where I seem to have success. Because I don't know, I just don't even find animals when I'm using easier weapons. Not that they're easier when I'm using guns. So
no, I get crazy. Man. I mean, my first successful harvest was in New Jersey with a bow. So I mean, it was that was white-tailed doe, and it was not much of a story. She came to 30 yards. She ran 20 yards, and that was the end of her type of thing. But there was a lot of time that went into that. That actually put me in that position. But it's just
how many days do you think you put in there in New Jersey?
Oh, their season started in September and ended January like 20th or something like that. But I probably hunted every weekend except 2.
Okay.
Throughout the whole time, and then whenever I could on the weekdays, if I got off of work early, I'd go hit the stand. I'm pretty particular about getting in super early if I'm hunting in the afternoon, or getting in 2 hours before daylight in the morning type of thing. So if I don't meet those parameters, it's just I don't even I try not to go at least to the spot where my stand's set up. I might go somewhere else where I can just kind of get in, scout and hunt type of thing, but I won't go to anywhere where I don't want to blow anything up.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good strategy, getting in there nice and early. I struggle with that. I need to be better. I'll tell you that. I get in there in the dark, but not 2 hours in the dark. I think that would be pretty epic to get in there and have that quiet time in there.
Yeah, no, it's cool for the first 30 minutes, and depending on the time of year, my opinion, it gets pretty cold by daybreak. It's you're waiting for that sun to hit you.
That's the truth, man. That's the truth. Cool, man. Well, what else? What other stories you got for us, Derrick? I know you said you have a handful of little guys. We'll just keep rattling through these things, man.
Yeah, man. So let me get to my love-hate relationship with my rifle.
There we go.
So again, when I was traveling, I would come back to New York. I have a lifetime license here, so I get tags mailed to me every year. So my dad had my tags. I was in Iowa, and I was like, you know what? I think I can make it back home for the opening week of deer season this year. And I hadn't had my 308 out since I was in Arizona, which was probably 4 years prior when I went on a Coos deer hunt, that I didn't even get to bring the rifle. But I didn't get drawn. But so anyways, I'm in Iowa, and I drive over to New York. I think I got the last 2 days of archery where I brought my bow too, and I didn't see anything. But I went out and was, all right, let's make sure the 308's sighted in. Let's go out back and make sure I'm dialed. So I go out back, pull up, and I shoot, and I'm like, all right, it's a little off. So I start turning some things, and go, man, it seems like I'm getting way off here. Like no matter what I'm doing, how am I not sighting this gun in? And I go to put my clip in. My clip's not staying in my gun. there's a little that
Oh.
little screw underneath there fell out, which actually helps hold the barrel down. So my barrel's bouncing way out of the stock, and I'm in my dad's yard. I don't know where the screw is. I'm looking
Yeah,
around in the
impossible to
grass
find.
trying. Oh yeah, I couldn't find it. Actually, my dad did find it, but uh, but not before that deer season. So that screw
Yeah.
held in the spot that the clip actually clips to. So my clip
Okay.
wouldn't stay in. I found a screw with the same thread pattern. I had to put like 2 washers in it just so that my stock wouldn't be coming off of my barrel wouldn't be coming off my stock. And it turned my
You
my
gotta put some
bolt
Loctite on
action
that.
my my bolt action 308 into a single shot 308. So
Oh my God.
that's the start of it. It gets better. So
Okay.
I start, all right, cool. I got the barrel fixed. Now I'm going to sight the gun back in. Now everything's off. So I go and shoot it maybe twice. And my crosshairs
Yeah.
just completely go sideways in my gun and start rattling around in there. Yeah,
No way.
on my scope. So I'm like, wow, this scope is garbage now. I got to go buy a new scope.
Did someone
So,
drop it? Like, what made that happen? I've never
I
heard of the actual crosshairs moving around.
I have no idea what happened. I mean, I bought
Okay.
the gun with that scope on it. I don't know if,
Got it.
I traveled cross country. I kept it in a box, like a gun, gun box, but I don't know
Yeah.
what happened to it. But anyways, I go and
Okay.
go buy a new scope. The lenses are way better on my new scope anyway, so I'm kind of happy it happened. But so I mount the scope on, and the first shot I take, I didn't tighten one of those screws down to put the scope on the rail all the way, and that scope came flying back off, smoked me in the face. I got blood pouring down my face. I mean, I'm like getting ready to sell this gun immediately.
Yeah.
It's just
That one, Derek. Well, I mean, a little operator error at this point, man. We'll start worrying about you more than the gun. But go ahead.
no, I get you. That one was completely me, but it's just like one thing after another, man. I'm like, I can't get this gun right. It's a single shot now. The scope's flying off, hitting me in the face. And
Did the
anyways,
scope actually come off, or did you just get scoped? I've seen guys get scoped before.
No.
And it's funny every time.
no, the scope actually came off. Like I
Okay.
learned my lesson young about getting scoped. I mean, it still happens occasionally, but
Yeah.
the scope came
That's
flying
funny.
off, landed on the ground. I was worried about my new scope that I just bought, and I ended up putting it back on the gun, sighted in, everything was fine.
Okay.
Like I said at the beginning of the story, I had a week to hunt New York before I had to go back to Iowa for work. And I hunted every single day from sun up to sundown. And I saw one deer until the last day.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, again, this is all public land. And, I got a couple buddies like, hey, why don't you come over here with me this day? And, why don't you come over here? And, we'd go and let's do some deer drives. Let's try and drive some deer. And just nothing was moving.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I walked across 10 gut piles, where someone else has been successful,
okay.
but,
Yeah.
that's about all I could.
They're there.
No, yeah, they're there. It's just I'm not there when they are.
Are you ready to elevate your archery game? Summit Bowstrings delivers premium strings for all archers, crafted with bloodline fiber and BCY material stretched for unmatched consistency. Choose from 3 series: Hunter, Competition, and Summit. Each string is built bison tough with unique techniques for extreme durability and performance. Ideal for both seasoned hunters and target archers. Experienced strings designed to handle any challenge. Visit summitbowstrings.com and use HSP10 for a 10% discount. Okay.
So, on the last day of the hunt, I go out to a place that I never liked going. I mean, there's deer there. I know there's deer there. It's just it's a hard place to get to. I mean, it's just a straight hill. It's the old story, uphill both ways, no matter which way you go. And
Okay.
there was
Okay.
3.5 feet of snow on the ground. I didn't really want to go there, but my buddy's like, "Come on, he's like, let's go." So I go out.
Do the deer even move around when there's that much snow, or what? That's not so much snow.
Yeah, they still move. I mean, it definitely slows, but they got to eat. They still got to eat. They still got to drink. They got to do all the normal stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But it got down to the last 10 minutes of shooting light, and I hadn't seen a deer. And I stand up. I'm freezing. I'm on the side of this hill. The wind's blasting me in the face for the 2 hours I've been sitting there not seeing anything. I'm not even seeing squirrels around at this point. And I said, "All right, I gotta go take a piss." So I learned my lesson from being younger. I brought my gun with me, and I'm standing up against this tree, and I just unzip my pants, and I look over to my right, and I see probably 10 deer running.
Oh no!
So I picked up my gun. My pants are down at my knees. At this point, I don't have any.
Oh, you were going number 2, huh?
No. It was just I got 15 layers on. Once I start taking the belts off, I got to pull them all down to get stuff out.
Yeah. Have you ever heard it? What do they say? It's like it's that season where you got to get 2 inches of pecker out of 4 inches of Carhartt or something like that.
Yeah, 8 inches or 2 inches of pecker out of 8 inches of clothing.
Yeah,
that was what was going on.
3.5 feet of snow.
So these deer are running. I pick up my rifle. I pull up. Boom! I shot this deer on a dead run. I knew it was a doe. There was a group of does. I had 2 doe tags, and I watched her pile right up. Dead run, smoked her. One of the other does that was behind her stopped right over top of her. She was piled up, and she stopped right on top of her. I'm like, well, you're there.
Okay.
Might as well.
Yeah, I got 2 tags.
Yep. And so I pull back up, shoot again, and I hit her, and she starts running towards me. Mind you, single shot now. I'm putting another one in it because it's the last 10 minutes of shooting light here. I don't really want her to run off too far. I got to drag her up this hill as it is. And I put 3 more rounds into her before she finally fell at 10 yards away from me. And I was thinking I was missing her the whole time. But when we processed her, we processed our own deer. There was 4 bullet holes in her.
Wow. That's crazy. She just not hit any vitals, or was she just jacked up on adrenaline or whatever?
I believe the first shot I clipped 1 lung. And then the other ones were all in the front shoulder. I mean, it was just, I know I was hitting vital area. I don't know exactly what I hit. It was pretty mangled actually when I opened her up. But
I believe it.
308.
4 shots with a 308 from 10 yards. Yeah, I believe it.
Well, it started at like 120 and then worked up to like 10 yards away.
Okay. That's pretty funny. And your scope held on the whole time?
The scope held on the whole time. And,
there you go.
Love-hate relationship with that
thing. So what point did you pull your pants back up, though? What point did your pants come off of, the knees and ankles?
Probably about the time my buddy came running up over the hill. He's like,
man, he must have thought there was a battle going on because you're like, I'm going to go piss. Next thing he knows, 5 rounds are fired and 2 deer are down.
He goes, I thought you were shooting a single shot, and
that's
so
awesome.
I'm pulling up my pants and I'm yelling. I'm like, hey, go make sure that deer's down. I got to go check this other one. And he's yelling, you got 2 of them? I'm like, yeah, there's 2 of them down. We got to drag 2 of them out of here.
Oh, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's an epic little moment there. I learned that lesson about leaving your rifle while you go piss or do whatever. Everybody has to learn that lesson once, man. I'm glad you'd already learned that lesson and that story ended that way rather than with the deer just walking away.
Yeah, man, it was a fun night because I mean we were up till 1 o'clock in the morning processing after that point, and I had to drive back to Iowa, which was a 16-hour drive the next morning. So it was
Damn. How far out was the drag for the deer?
probably it wasn't terribly far. It wasn't like any Colorado packing out type thing. It was a mile or two. It wasn't anything.
Okay, not
It
too
was
crazy.
just
Well, cool, man.
up a hill like this. I mean, it was they were at the bottom of that hill when they died, and
So when you kill those things and you shoot them at the bottom of a hill, does it just not cross Eastern hunters' minds to like take it apart, throw it in a bag, and walk out with it, or did you guys all just drag it out? Because like in Colorado, like obviously elk, even mule deer, you're not dragging those things anywhere. Often you're too far back, but they're also just way too damn big. But I've killed one whitetail, and man, I quartered that thing right up because I didn't know any better, and I packed it out. So is that just not something that's done in the East?
I mean, I don't know. I've never really hunted the West. I mean, I hear everyone packing them out, but it's just kind of what I grew up doing. So I still do it. I mean, I also like to let my deer hang if I can. If it's cold enough and I can bring them back, I'll let them hang for 10 days before I even really touch them.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's part of it. I just do it because that's how I was taught to do it. It's just, you got them in the field.
That's a good enough answer.
You throw the heart and the liver back inside of her or him, whatever it is, and drag it back out.
Yeah. Okay. Huh. That's interesting, man. It's interesting, like a cultural difference between how you deal with the animal once they're down. Because all the small animals I've ever killed, I still just quartered them up. I just didn't like you don't know any better with your strategy. Yep. I don't know any better with mine. And I've killed an axis deer in Hawaii. It was 2 miles back there, and I'm like, I'm not lugging this thing out of here. So I just started skinning it and put it all. I had game bags. I threw them all in my pack, and I have a pack that has a great frame on it, so it's like not a big deal to throw 100 pounds on it. So
I don't even own one with a frame. Like my backpack holds my extra clothing. That's
peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and that's about it.
I'm not. I'm not one of those hunters that takes food out with me. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I do not take food out with me. Now mind you, I'm not going out camping or I'm not I might hike in 5 miles, but I'm hiking out 5 miles and going home in my bed, type of thing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. I'm the kind of hunter that has to take food. I'm just a big guy. I run out of gas, so I got to have food with me. I got to have like peak refuels, put in 4,000 calories. Otherwise I can't go.
I grew up wrestling as a sport. So, I mean, going without food is normal for me. So,
There you go. All right, we got off track. We went down one of them rabbit holes. What else you got for us, Derrick?
I got another turkey one for you, I think.
All right, let's do it, man. Imagine this. You're deep in the wilderness. The sun is rising, casting golden light over rugged terrain. Your heart races as you navigate through the backcountry, knowing the perfect shot could come at any moment. This is where memories are made and stories are born. Ultralight rifles are often seen as Mountain West guns, but the Ridgeline FFT from Christensen Arms breaks that mold. This stellar, lightweight rifle is your perfect companion, whether you're in the backcountry or box blind, ensuring you never have to switch between your builds. With its aero-grade carbon fiber barrel and stock, the Ridgeline FFT is incredibly lightweight, yet powerful. Thanks to its innovative side baffle brake, it reduces recoil even on a 5-pound gun shooting magnum calibers. It's like black magic. As a sub-MOA tack driver made in America, the Ridgeline FFT is for those who seek the thrill of the hunt and the joy of storytelling. Picture yourself returning to camp, Ridgeline FFT in hand, ready to share the day's adventures. Head to your local shop, pick one up. You've got to feel this rifle to believe it. Let the Ridgeline FFT be part of your hunting stories and the legacy you pass down.
So this is a cool one for me because it was the first time I got back into hunting, which I didn't really tell you. I mean, it was just basically I left New York and it was a bunch of drug related stuff, and I'm clean and sober for 9 years, and but it took me out hunting
Good
for
for
a
you,
while.
man.
But
Good for you. I'm glad you took that journey and got out of it. That's what's important. So congratulations, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
again, it wasn't my choice at the time, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Good, man.
You
Good.
know,
I'm glad to hear it.
It was, and it took a while to refine myself and get back into hunting type of thing.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize was such an integral part of who I am and what I really love to do. And I eat, sleep, and breathe it type of thing now. It's like what I wake up hearing. But this was my first hunt after being sober.
Hell yeah. Very cool. Let's do it.
My son, which he was, I don't know, 2 years old at the time, maybe. He didn't get to go with me, but he was there to enjoy it afterwards, which was really cool. So I don't remember where I was, but my wife and I drove back to New York with my son, and it was like middle of May for turkey season, and I went back to New York with the plan to go turkey hunting.
Okay.
And then obviously visit family because I haven't seen a lot of family, me being gone for a couple of years. And so I was using my dad's shotgun. I did not have my own shotgun yet. And my grandfather's hill, again, right next door to my dad's house, I was going up there every single morning that I could. And there wasn't a single bird gobbling. I couldn't hear anything. I mean, and I don't know what it's like elsewhere, but in New York, you can only hunt till noon during the springtime for turkeys.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I was hunting from sun up till noon and not getting anything. And when I was a kid, I had my grandfather's hill pretty well pegged down for where the turkeys were going to be and where I needed to set up. And, being gone for 3-4 years, everything changed. My grandfather had cows. He didn't have cows at that point in time. So now different wildlife was moving around, eating in different places type of thing.
Okay.
And about a mile up on my grandfather's hill, he has a cabin. And behind the cabin is this big field, which half of it he owns and half of it a neighbor owns. And I never really liked hunting up there, but I know there's birds up there.
Okay.
So after hunting for a couple days, not hearing any birds, I decided, you know what? I'm going to take my dad's truck, drive up to the cabin, park his truck, and then walk the rest of the way up to that field and sit in that field. And that was my plan in the morning, which never happened. I got up. I got up and started driving up the hill, and maybe a quarter mile up the hill, there's this weird hill with a bend on it.
Okay.
And there's trees lining both sides of the road. For some reason, this morning was muddier than the rest of the mornings I've been up there. And my dad's truck, 4-wheel drive, wasn't making it up through this mud. And the truck was sliding sideways down into the trees. And I'm like,
Jeez,
man,
okay.
I can't let my dad's truck go into the trees. So I'm getting out. I'm cutting pine boughs, putting them underneath the tires, trying to get it out of the mud. Now it's like, it's still before sun up, and I'm just like, come on, man. I just want to get up to this field. And
okay.
I'm fighting it the whole way. And finally, I'm like, man, I gotta like try and back out of here, like without hitting this tree, like, you know, and I'm not gonna get this hunt, you know, sun's up right now, and
Yeah.
I'm like, for shits and giggles, I'm gonna hit my slate call. I hit my slate call, and 200 yards away, I get 3 gobbles, like hammering.
No way. That's awesome.
And the day before, sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit, but the day before, my dad took me down to our local sporting goods store, and he bought me my own gun, my own 12 gauge. And it was kind of like it was kind of like, hey man, I'm glad you're doing good. I want you to get back into stuff that you love. I'm buying this gun for you. And that was the first day I really owned that gun. Is, you know, I'm taking this thing out, and I got 3 birds hammering at my slate call.
Okay.
And my dad's truck is stuck in the mud, about to hit a tree. So I grab a log, I shove it behind the tire, throw all my vest on, and I'm going towards the turkeys. You know, I'm hitting it, making sure like where their location is, and I'd sit down and be like, oh, they're coming. And I hit the slate calls a couple times, and they'd come down a little bit closer, and then I'd hear them start drifting off. And I'm so, all right, I got to get up and move. I'm going back towards them. Another 50 yards towards these birds. They come in another 10, 20 yards, and then back off. And by the time I knew it, I'm half a mile past my dad's truck. You know, just working these steps every time. Yep. And, you know, I get up to, man, I hunted this spot like 3 days in a row. Not a single gobble, not a single bird, nothing. I get up to it, and I set up, and I don't even have a chance to hit my slate call after I set up here. And I'm like on a log just so I could see over top of it with my gun. Like, and they can't really see me. There's no real, like, I'm going to find this tree and set up and like have a nice setup. I'm like laying across this log type of thing. Just like, please don't
do what you can.
And these birds come down 15 yards, and first day with the new gun, I blast one, you know, and
hell yeah.
And so it drops, and, you know, I run up, I'm super pumped. I'm like yelling because this is like the best thing that's happened to me, you know, in a long time. And
yeah,
there's a lot of things that happened to me, but like hunting wise, I was like, dude, this is it. This is what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
And then the realization of like, oh, I still got to go get my dad's truck unstuck. You know? And I'm calling him. I'm calling my cousin. I'm like, hey man, are you at work? You know, and everyone's like, yeah, I'm at work. I can't come help you until this afternoon type of thing. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I mean, eventually I just stuck more pine boughs underneath there, and I got it away from the tree a little bit and kind of slid down onto an old road, and was able to get my dad's truck out of there and go back down. And I walked into my dad's house holding the turkey, and my son maybe was awake for 5 minutes prior to this, and just to see his eyes light up, man, it was amazing.
Oh man,
and that's one of the pictures on my Instagram. Him sitting on my lap with that turkey, man. I think he was just as happy as I was. You know, seeing that thing, and you know, he's pumped for this year. He really is, man. I got one of those ground blinds. I don't know if you've seen them. I believe it's Tidewee, where you can see through them.
Yeah. I've got one of those too, man. I've got an older model that's super cool, and sometimes I feel like I can see right through it. But sometimes when I'm trying to look through it, I'm like, I can't see shit. Like I don't know what it is. It's like when you're concentrating, you can't. But when you're not concentrating, really? you can look right through it. But that's mine. Again, mine I've had for 4 or 5 years at this point. So hopefully they've upgraded it. But they're super cool. And for a kid, perfect.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole reason why I got it. Because I mean, I'm perfectly fine with sitting next to a tree, or you know, climbing to a stand. Which I'm not going to bring my son into a stand with me, and you know, I want him to have that movement ability, you know, and I mean, to get a 5-year-old to sit still, I mean, it's going to be a challenge type of thing.
Impossible. Yeah. Just bring like a little rug, put them on the floor, not even a chair that'd make too much noise. But that's exactly my plan, man. Using that same blind, I'll get my boy out there eventually. Yeah. If I kill a turkey this weekend, I might even go out with him another time and just put the blind out. And I only have one tag. But I go out in there and just call from the blind. Like, we'll just make the best out of it and pretend like we're hunting.
Yeah, that's what I did when we were in New Jersey with my son with bow hunting. I brought him out there with no intention of, if one walked by, obviously I was going to shoot it. But, it was just bringing him out there to the exposure. And he found a turkey feather while he was out there. And he was, all happy about finding the turkey feather. And it was just, that's what it's about, man, getting them going. And
100%, man. I can't wait to get my kiddos involved. I'm excited. You got to keep me in the loop and let me know how it goes with your kiddo. I want to hear how he managed, and any tips and tricks you got and you can pass it my way.
Yeah, man, I for sure will do. But I'm just winging it.
Okay, cool. All right, Derrick, man. Well, this was fun, brother. I appreciate you telling us your stories. I love kind of like the. Of course, everybody likes the one big grandiose story, but like the quick hitters that all are just like really fun and entertaining. Always fun to listen to, man. So thank you very much for reaching out and sharing your stories with us, man, and your story of your successes with getting off of whatever you were on, getting away from drugs. That's awesome, and I'm glad that you got back to hunting. I'm glad that's taken and filled that spot for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just like anything I can do hunting related. I mean, and if somebody's struggling with addiction, I mean, there's hope. There's hope out there. It's just taking that next step and doing the next indicated thing, the next right indicated step,
gotcha.
Type of thing. And it's been a pleasure being on here with you, man. I mean, I've listened to every single one of your podcasts, I believe, and it's
way too much
amazing.
of my voice.
Hey, man, it's awesome while I'm at work. I believe you had someone on recently too, man. It was like when I was listening to him, it was like he was telling my story, man. He's like at work listening to you all day long, and I believe he was in construction and everything, and it was awesome listening to that guy too, man.
I'm trying to blank on his name right now, but that's the gentleman from Maine. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's that's what this is all about. It's just hearing stories, having fun with it, and I'm glad you listened in, man. I really do appreciate that. And once again, I'll tell the listeners, man, if you guys have a good story, reach out. Be like Derrick. Derrick's brave. Got on here. We had a good time. At least I had a good time. Hopefully you did too, Derrick. I'm always looking for more guests, and I'd rather have the average Joe Hunter on than an influencer because you guys are more fun. So let's do it. Cool, man. Derrick. Well, thanks again. Do you want to share your socials, or you just want to walk off into the sunset? I'm not going to force you.
Yeah, man, I'll share my socials. I mean, it's Derrick1536 on Instagram, I believe. And there's not much on there, but feel free.
Cool, man. I'll link it in the show notes if people want to hit you up. I mean, who knows? Maybe someone's got a similar journey and they want to just like bounce some things off of you. Who knows? We're all here to help each other. But Derrick, thank you again, man. I appreciate you. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man.
All right, guys. That's it. Again, I want to thank Derrick for coming on the podcast. Couldn't have done it without him. But of course, you guys for tuning in as well. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guch enjoy hearing these stories as much as I do, because I really do enjoy them. If you have a great story, get on my website, go to the Instagram, wherever it is. I've got the forum kind of all over the place. It's even in the show notes. Fill it out. Let me know that you're interested in connecting, and we will be in touch. And we'll hear some more stories from amazing hunters around the country, even around the world, actually. So that's it, guys. Beyond that, review us, like us, share us with a friend. But most importantly, get out there and make some stories of your own. Thank you.